Hello everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 battle. I am bringing the Empire versus Bretonnia. I've been wanting to play more Bretonnia in multiplayer battles, but I don't like mirror matches, and I've been facing up against a lot of opponents who, well, they play Bretonnia, and I understand why, because they're new and they're awesome. So instead, I brought the Empire, and I'm going to try out a Luminark build, because I have not played with the Luminark in a very long time. So we have the Templar Luminark right here, and then we have a bunch of fighter units in our spear line. Behind those, we have the handgunners, which are meant to snipe anybody that's caught in the net. And just to remind you, the Temple of Luminark has the net spell, and then I also brought a light wizard who also has a net spell and Shim's Burning Gaze. I brought two halberdiers because I'm fighting against Bretonnia, who has a lot of high armored large creatures now that are really good, so I brought these to fight those. And then I also brought two Reichsguard who are now 100 gold cheaper and still just as good as they used to be, but now they're cheaper for the price. So you have 120 armor, very defensively focused cav here, and I find that they can kind of generally hold their own against most of the Bretonnian cav, unless you're talking about like questing knights, things like that. So I brought two of those guys as well to try and assist me with the cav that I thought I was be facing off. So speaking of our enemy here, we have the enemy army being led by Albrecht de Bordelot, and he is leading some Royal Hippogriff Knights. Speaking of knights, we have two Knights of the Realm here, and I believe here. And then over here we have 4 mounted yeomen, which was really cool to see. You never see mounted yeomen in multiplayer battles. I think for a good reason, but still, like, it was cool to see them. And then their main line here is going to be a Grail Relic and the Damsel of Life with some, just the basic Earth Blood, I think it's called right there, the one spell. And then we have a core of Foot Squires to take on my melee forces. So with the Luminark of Hysh, I knew that my first target would have to be somebody who can keep their forces alive. So that's going to be this Damsel of Life. Woo! Yeah. That Luminark though. So she's going to cast, I believe, Earthblood here. Yeah, so she cast Earthblood to try and get herself. She did not bring the regrowth spell, which would definitely heal her a lot faster, but still the Earthblood you can see is getting her back almost to the full, but we're going to fire again. And I find that as long as you're not targeting a person who is on a mount, it's hard for them to dodge it, so she is going to withdraw from the battle and actually let my Luminark fire one more time at her, I believe, and so she's going to just get killed all together. In fact, there goes the shot. Ooh. I mean, she wasn't even part of the battle at that point. Like, honestly, I didn't realize that she had broken, so that's why I let the Temple of Luminark fire one more time. Because that was honestly, it was a wasted shot, and you have precious few shots with the Temple of Luminark. So right now, I'm trying to have it fire at the Hippogriff Knights, and it's going to have the firing icon for quite a while, but it's not going to fire. It's just not going to fire. I'm guessing it's the angle, because this thing can't really move up or down, so maybe they're just too high. But anyway, the Foot Squire is going to come in range of our rifles, which I'm just kind of letting them fire at will, because I want to kill these Foot Squires as much as we can before the enemy's mounted yeomen and the knights and all these things come in and try to get into our rifles. So we're just going to do a couple salvos here, and you can see them just doing so much damage, and now there is no life damsel to keep these guys alive. Going to delay the melee combat with a net from the Temple of Luminark here, and then I'm going to use the Light Wizard. Actually, that was from the Light Wizard, I'm sorry. Temple of Luminark is then going to net Albrecht de Bordelot over here. Going to shift my handgunners over here to snipe, as well as getting hit by the Temple of Luminark as well. Because for whatever reason, again, it was not shooting at these Hippogriff Knights. So I'm like, well, we're just going to shoot at Albrecht de Bordelot then. I'm going to send Boris Topbringer into the melee fight, because nothing is really happening in the backfield yet. I'm just kind of waiting for the enemy cav to pounce on us, so he had nothing to do, so might as well get some fear and terror going in on these Foot Squires, so going to do some damage there. Hippogriff Knights are going to stand above our army. I guess they're waiting for an order currently. And I'm going to pull back the riflemen a little bit, and then going to try and focus fire on the Hippogriff Knights. I dealt a decent amount of damage to the Albrecht de Bordelot, and he doesn't have regeneration, so I wasn't too concerned about him, just because there's no life lore left to keep him healed. And now the Hippogriff Knights is going to go descend upon our handgunners, so I'm going to get our halberdiers over here. I'm going to get our knights, our Reichsguard, I'm sorry, over here as well. And this is going to be kind of a massive cav battle with a lot of the mounted yeomen. Then the Knights of the Realm are going to be coming in here. My spearmen are doing what they can against the Foot Squires. This is a battle that they will slowly lose if unsupported, but luckily enough for me, one of these Foot Squires aren't in combat right now. So Boris Topbringer is going to descend upon Albrecht de Bordelot and the remaining of his Hippogriff Knights. Again, the Hippogriff Knights are very squishy considering the cost that they are. So you got to be really careful with them. So I'm just going to throw a net right here, allow the spearmen and the halberdiers to do their thing. You can see my Luminark of Fish is getting chased down by Knights of the Realm, which I'm actually kind of okay with because they're not trying to kill my riflemen, which I'm more concerned about. Speaking of, my riflemen have been pulled over here, but one group is currently retreating. Knights of the Realm are going to run into the net at the very end, and I'm going to route off Albrecht to Borderlow here, as well as their Royal Hippogriff Knights, because they were just tanking so much damage from the halberdiers and the spearmen, and that is the last target they really want to fight. But their initial target was the riflemen, which they did manage to run away. Meanwhile, my two Reichsguard and another halberdier group are just holding off these mounted yeomen. I cast the Shim's Burning K's and sniped Albrecht out of the sky because he was not totally broken and I did not want him to coming back. And now the Temple of Luminark, I think, is trying to shoot at the Foot Squires, but is having a hard time finding, I guess, their target, even though they're right in front of him and this is a perfect line to shoot through, but they just are not. The Temple of Luminark in the later half of this battle got kind of weird. It just was not really firing on clear targets, which is a problem I kind of find with it most time. But over here, we're going to have Boris Todbringer try and engage the Royal Hippogriff Knights to keep them steady for these riflemen to fire at. And you can see the Knights of the Realm are coming back. I'm going to try and net them and run away. My net is a little late, so they do get a little bit of charge off here, but we do net them there. And I'm going to be chasing off the rest of the Hippogriff Knights. The Reichsguard, in the meantime, are just back here destroying the Knights of the Realm right here and just routing off these mounted yeomen multiple times and getting helps from these halberdiers because the front line is just kind of lasting a long time against these Foot Squires because of the amount of damage dealt to them with the rifles and then, you know, throwing Boris in there. It weakened their numbers enough so that they weren't overwhelming our spearmen. So the spearmen and these halberdiers just kind of free to fight off these remaining Foot Squires as my Reichsguard and riflemen are sniping out the Knights of the Realm, their Hippogriff Knights, which are now back over there. You can see this rifleman who came back from rounding is going to get charged by those mounted yeomen, but I sent Boris over there to make them rout once again. Temple of Luminark is still having a hard time finding a target with the Foot Squires, but finally we're going to get a shot off again, nailing those guys a little bit, and then this is going to signal a mass rout from the Bretonnian forces without their leader or their damsel to lead them anymore. But good game to my opponent there. I don't know if it's Tree or Triz. I don't know if you pronounce the S here, but Triz Megistos, good game. Probably was not expecting a Luminark, because I never see a Luminark. Well, very rarely do I see Luminarks brought in multiplayer, and I was like, let's just try this out, because it's been so long since I played it. And sniping that damsel in the very beginning just was huge. Just was huge. Getting the live floor out of the game was probably like the MVP move of the Luminark there. But besides that, the Spear Line, again, they held their own against those Foot Squires for a very long time, because they were supported by the riflemen in the beginning and then Boris, so I'm really proud of them. The net spell, I didn't have the best of nets. I had like two that were okay and managed to bring Albrecht below half health and then netted the Knights in the middle and did some damage with them with the halberds and spears, so I'm not totally upset about that, but they weren't the best. The halberdiers did really good in their fights. Riflemen, again, they were snipers, and the Reichsguard just did so well because most of the time they were fighting against the mounted yeomen, which have zero chance of killing Reichsguard, really. And even the Knights of the Realm, they do have an anti-large bonus, but they don't really have much armor piercing, so a lot of their damage is neglected by the 120 armor of the Reichsguard, which is exactly why I brought Reichsguard, because they're relatively cheap, only 1100. You get a very sturdy armored cav unit that can kind of stand up. I haven't done any testing against like Grail Knights, but I'm pretty sure they can stand up to most of the cav that the Bretonnians can bring. Especially if you bring two of them and they're supported by halberdiers or, you know, riflemen or stuff like that. But for Triz here, Albrecht unfortunately got netted and wasn't able to get many kills off. Damsel we saw. The Grail Relique was alive throughout the entire thing. I tried to aim at it with the Luminark of Fish, but it just would not fire at the Grail Relique because I wanted to snipe it because it's an annoying thing to fight against since it's buffing up the leadership and then also grants an immunity to psychology aura, but it did a really good job. Did a lot of work there keeping the aura up. The Foot Squires, some of them did okay. You can see these three did really well. I'm assuming these two got shut up by the Riflemen more and also Boris. The Mounted Yeomen, again, they were just kind of piled on against my Reichsguard. I think they got a charge off or two against some Riflemen, which is a good call. And then the Knights of the Realm, kind of a similar fate. And the Royal Hippogriff Knights, 30 kills against the Riflemen and maybe some Spearmen and Halberdiers. But again, they are very squishy. Now, if you have the Life Lore backing them up and you cast Regrowth or Earthblood, then they are a lot better because they're a low model unit, so they really benefit from those heal spells because they're not really going to lose models very quickly, and if you cast those Earthblood or the Regrowth fast enough, then you can keep them in the fight, all 6 models of them in the fight a lot longer. So, but they didn't have that luxury because my Luminark kind of said goodbye to the Damsel. But again, good game to my opponent, and let's go watch a cinematic view of a pretty basic Luminark build, I would think. You always bring a Light Wizard with these, you always bring some Riflemen for sniping, And then from then on, it's just like, what kind of fodder units do you want? Do you want flagellants instead of spearmen? Do you want, a couple great swords instead of halberdiers? But, for the most part, you'll always see at least a light wizard and some riflemen with a Luminark. So again, kind of a basic Luminark build. But again, anyway, let's go watch cinematic view. So there was a request to increase the sound for the sound effects and just the game in general for cinematic views. So I'm going to do it for this battle, and let me know if you want all cinematic views to be this loud, so you actually hear the battle more. It's probably going to drown out my voice, but that's okay in the cinematic view. But again, just let me know if you like the louder sound of the game, or if you want me to keep it as it was before. Whew. And then she's like, nope. She feels so bad. She was already leaving the battlefield, but that Luminark of his just couldn't let it go. Jesus.
Yes, sir! For the Warhammer! Go! To battle! At speed! Take the ground! Yes, sir! Quickly! Keep your heads down, men! They're casting spells! For the Warhammer! Formation march! Pick your targets, lads! Moving now! Vanish! Shoot! For the twin-tailed comet! By go, at speed! Fire! Fire! For the Warhammer! Quick march! Taking position! Taking position! All ranks, fire! Illumination upon them! Yes, my lord! Sigmar calls! No lingering! To battle! Sigmar guides us! Shoot them! For the Emperor! Quick march! To battle! Understood! Take position! Quicker! Illumination upon them! Attack! Enrage! No lingering! Yes, General! Charge! To battle! Quick march! We serve the Emperor! It will be done! Fire! Formation! March! No lingering! Light is might! Formation! March!
Run!
Range! To battle! To battle! To battle! Take position! No! Yes, General! Powder dry! Pick them up! Lords! Illuminus! Move out! Take the ground! Moving now! Attack! Formation! March! Take the ground! Quick march! Yes, my lord. Sigmar! By Gardener! Moving faster! Sir! Protect the flanks! Sigmar, guide us!
Ooh. Oh man, those poor knights. Jeez. I think these knights get shot. Point blank too. Execution style. Jesus. Oh, and then things got bad. Things got bad real quick for my rifles.
Sigma! Shoot it!
Use the silver mirror! Reflect the spell!
Take the cloud!
Reichsguards still look really cool. Like, I think they look better than the Knights of the Round. Actually, I think they look cooler than, like, even the Grail Knights. Yeah, I think they do. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the battle, and I will see you all next time. Again, let me know if you like the louder cinematic view or not. Take care.